Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. And I know that a few days ago, Simon did a puzzle by Michael Lefkowitz that was, as far as I remember, very tough. So to be taking on the same name today is fascinating. Now, I did also notice that Michael had sent us two versions of this puzzle, the first of which had different rules and had a different title, which I was very interested by. It was Modus Tollens, I think, unless I'm confusing it with some other puzzle. But Modus Tollens rang the vaguest of bells at the back of my brain. I think that was a technique that I learnt about in the logic module of my linguistics degree a long time ago. And yes, I suppose I have had an advantage in that I did actually study a little bit of logic at university. So maybe this career was destined. Anyway, it's not called Modus Tollens now. It's probably a totally new puzzle called Inner Circles by Michael Lefkowitz, and I'll be looking at it in a moment. The dot rules are fascinating, and it's a fog of war puzzle, so that's always fun. Anyway, we'll look at that in a minute. Don't forget that on Patreon, we've got coming up on the 1st of February, the new Patreon reward by Riff Clown, no less. And it's a series of puzzles in which, well, it's basically some fantastic line Sudoku puzzles there. And that tells me also to remind you that you can get our line Sudoku app, which is real quality stuff as well, just by downloading our apps and so on. That is all on the links under the video. There are many other apps there, of course, and there's also Sven SUDOKU PAD and our merchandise on those links, as well as how to get to Patreon. But the first link is to Michael's puzzle called Inner Circles, and I'm going to do the rules now. Normal Sudoku rules apply, which means we'll put 1 to 9 in every row, column, and 3 by 3 box, if we can. And the fog covers there is fog covering a lot of the grid, and correctly placing digit will clear the fog. And now the dot rules. A black dot in a cell indicates that its value has a 2 to 1 ratio with that of some orthogonal neighbour. So the cell here has a 2 to 1 ratio with one of those four. A white dot indicates its value is adjacent to some neighbours. So this one is adjacent to one of those four. And a grey dot indicates it's like a V, that its value and some neighbours' value sums to 5. My strong advice is do not begin this puzzle down in this cleared fog section, because I don't think you'll get anywhere. That's just straight off the top of my head. And it would be hilarious if that was entirely wrong. It's possible. Oh, here we go. Here's the kicker. All possible dots have been given. And where multiple dots could apply, one has been chosen at random. Wow, so multiple dots could apply in each of these cells. I mean, okay, this is interesting. I think Michael goes by the name Juggler sometimes, in case you've seen those puzzles before. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know how to approach this. The negative constraint is clearly going to be significant. I am going to press the button and say, let's get cracking. I don't think we can start in that area. This is the most amusing single cleared fog cell I've ever seen. It does nothing. So it's these two boxes, but especially box 1, which has 2 given digits. So all dots have been given. Right, where does 8 go in this box? Oh, I've only just had the thought, actually, this is quite important, that for the domino, let's say that black dot represented a 4-8 pair. Then there will be 2 black dots in one pair of these cells, because each of those digits must have the black dot. Now it could be down here with the white dot effectively hiding the black dot. Yeah, okay, but it makes my question valid. I don't think 8 can be in any of these cells in this box, because if it was there, there, or there, this cell would have to have a white dot. If it was there or there, this cell would have to have a white dot. I think we would still see the dot. Digits don't hide dots. So 8 is in one of those two cells. Now 8 can't sit next to 4 without a dot. So there isn't, and 4 is a difficult figure. 4 is a difficult number. I'm aware of this from negative constraint crop key puzzles before. But we've even added V into this. So what can 4 not sit next to? It can't without a dot appearing in both cells, and therefore nowhere in this box. I mean, that's an important constraint. But 4 can't sit next to 1 in this box, because that would be a grey dot. 4 can't sit next to 2, because that would be a black dot. So it would be white for 3 and 5 and black for 8. So 4 can only sit next to 6, 7. Well, 6, 7 and 9 are the only digits it can sit next to. And that rules out this cell, because those two can't be 6 and 9 because of the 9 being there. It maybe doesn't rule out this. I'm gonna red out cells that are ruled out for 4, because I think this is interesting. It can't be there because those can't be 6 and 9. It can't be there because those can't be 6 and 9. It can't be here because you could never put it in the center. Well, in a dotless central cell, you could never put a 4, because there are only 3 digits it can sit next to. It can't be in either of these cells, because it would be next to 8. Now, this is the one. 4 is clearly in one of those two. This is the one that's interesting me now, because it does look possible. If 6 was there, 4 was there, and 9 was here, that's the only way you could get 4 into that cell. If 4 was there, oh, this sees 9 and 6. I suspect that's deliberate. This would have to be a 7. Oh, look, 8 couldn't be there. 8 would be pushed to here. That would be 6. 4, 6, 8. Now, there's no X dot, so that's okay. And this would be 7 or 9. I think that works. So I think 4 is in one of those cells, and I was hoping I'd be able to work out which, and I don't think I can now. Now, 4 feels like a good digit to work on. I'm not sure there is anything else with quite that power. 2 is only not allowed to be next to 1, 3, and 4. 3 can't be next to 2, 4, or 6. I don't quite know how to proceed. I mean, I could try and do this for every digit in the box, or I could try and fully label every cell, but no, those don't feel like good approaches. 6 can't be there or there. 6 can only, okay, 6 is not allowed to be next to 3, 5, or 7. So it can be next to 1, 2, 4, 8, 9. I mean, that is a host of digits. Maybe I need to go over here. I know the trouble is the fog cleared area is exactly the same as in box 1. And there are fewer given digits provided. So I think this is a less helpful box. I mean, 4 can't be there. I can see that. Actually, okay, I'm going to red these cells. It can't be there. It can't be there because these three would have to be 6, 7, 9. Same is true here. Here it's not so obvious. That could be a 7, 9 pair. 4's obviously not there. 4 here would need that to be 7, 9. Does something else go wrong if I don't know. I mean, one of these is right. And okay, sorry, we worked out that wherever 4 is here, on its left it has a 6. So one of those two is a 6, definitely. And that means the middle cell can't be 3 now. Or 5. Oh, and it can't be 7 or 9 or 4 or 6 or 8. Wow, so this middle cell is 1 or 2. Sorry if this should be obvious. Now, if it was 2, what can 2 not sit next to? It can't sit next to 1, 3, or 4. So if that was a 2, this group is 1, 3, and 4. Then 8 is here, 6 is here, next to 4. That's a 1, 3 pair, and that would be 5. That feels like it works, annoyingly. If that was 1, I think it's less constrained. These digits just can't be 2 or 4. It pushes 2 into a corner. Can 2 go there? That would push 4 there, 6 there, 8 there. This would be a 3, 5 pair. And am I speculating on 2 being here? I don't know. I've lost track. I think it's too far a look ahead if I can't even remember what I'm assuming as I look at it. I'm really not interested in doing these dots. They're just not helpful. Oh, well, okay. No, they're not. They're not. I mean, this grey one, okay, it has to be low. That's that, and this one has to be a black dot potential digit, but this doesn't have to join them up. These dots don't have to join with each other. It's, goodness, how are we going to get any fog cleared? Right, if that was 4, as well as that being 6, this is going to have to be 9 then. Because 7 and 6 would appear in the row already. Is 9 a problem here? And if that's 4, that's 6, and this is 9 or 7, and that's definitely 7 then. So if this is 4, this might be the most constraining thing. Now, I seem to be claiming that 4 always has to be next to 6. Yes, it does. It neighbours 6, 7, or 9, so it does. 4 there, which puts 7 here and has 6, 8 here. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, and 5 to fit in up here. And in these cells, where there aren't white dots in the cleared ones, we can't have 1 next to 2 or 2 next to 3. So 2 could only be next to 5. It would have to be on the end of this string, and it couldn't be there because you can't put 5 there. So it would be there with 5 there, 1, 3, 2, 5, 1, 3, 8, 6, 4. It looks like it works. I can't specify the whole box if I choose 4 there, I don't think. Although we go 7, 6, 4, 9. We've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 8 left to put in. We know 8's in one of those two. Oh, that's 1 or 2. So there has to be another 1 or 2 in one of these two corners. Oh, and 3 can't sit next to a 2. 5 doesn't have any restrictions at all, does it? Well, not in that zone. I don't know, I don't think this is deducible. Am I going to have to look into another box? So all I know here, well, maybe I have to consider 7, 6, 4, 9 here, but 9 is not a very restricting digit. It just stops this being 8. And it doesn't stop it being 8 because there could be dots under the fog. So, Okay, that is stopped from being 8 by there not being a dot here. Ah, this is oh, hang on. Why am I allowing 7, 6 as a possibility there? There we go. 6 has to be here. Oh, it's much simpler. I've spent over 10 minutes on this. Sorry. So let's just go back a step. No, I can't be bothered. Now I've marked these. Okay, but I was saying that wherever 4 is here, 6 is on its left. And that can't be here because there's no white dot here. Sorry. Right, we're there. That is 4. And it will prove it by clearing fog. Yes. So 6 is always on its left because 4 has to sit next to 6, 7, 9. This one is a 7 because it sees the 9 and the 6. This is 7 or 9. Okay. Okay, now I did work out what goes on with 1, 2, 3, 5. 2 can't be left next to 1 or 3 in this. So 2 has to be here next to 5. And then we go 1, 3, and the box works, and the fog has been cleared, and the deductions are sound. And I'm feeling a lot happier about life. Now, we are clearing some fog here and finding no dots. It must be quite difficult to keep the dots out of this puzzle. This, for instance, can't be 6 or 8 because of the lack of dots. So that's 1, 3, or 5. I am going to do a pencil marking approach now. 5, 1, 6, 7 by Sudoku, 3 by black dot, 8 by white dot, leaves 2, 4, or 9 here. This may not be a successful approach. This can't be 4 or 9 because of the lack of dots. So 1, 2, or 5. Oh, that's very interesting. This has stopped being able to be a 4 because that's not allowed to sit next to any of 5, 2, or 1. In fact, this fact that on a dotless cell, 4 can only sit next to 6, 7, or 9 might prove continually useful. Now, the only way that could be a 2 is if this is a 5. 2, 9, 4, 7. 1, 3, 5, 6, 8. Don't know what to do there. Let's have a look up here where we got more information than I was expecting. This can't be 7, 5, or 2. It also can't be 1 or 3 or 4 by the rules. So 6, 8, or 9. 3, 1, 9, 8 is ruled out. Now, can this possibly be 4 with that being a 6, 7, 9 triple? Annoyingly, I think it can. But it's almost becoming time to ask where in the column does 4 go? I don't think we've got the information yet to get joy out of that question. I feel like I've done a corner. It's taken me nearly 8 minutes longer than it should have, but that's kind of the end of that corner, and now I have to think of some other approach. Maybe box 6, but it doesn't feel as though that's likely. Okay, where's 4 in row 4? If it's there, that has to be 9. 4 can only sit next to 6, 7, and 9 in a dotless cell or pair. Yeah, this might be why this is unfogged at the start, actually. So 4 can sit here, but that would make that 9. These two would be from 6, 7, 9. Okay, it could sit here. Can 4 sit here? No, because both sides of that would have to be from 6, 7, 9. That doesn't work. It could sit there, but again, this would be 9. So in either of those positions, that's a 9. Now, can 4 sit here with a 9 there and a 7 there? Yes. Ah, okay, it's a simple thing to get the next step. Wherever 4 is in row 4, it's going to be next to 9 because there is a white cell in every pair apart from in that pair, which can't be a... Well, you could put 4 there, but then that's a pair. Okay, so 4 is always next to 9 in this row to avoid having a dot on both cells. And therefore, it's not a 9 here. That's a 2. and that's a 5 to be next to the 9. And this isn't 5 now, neither of those are 5. Right. Now the more things we clear away, the clearer the picture. I'm not just talking in fog terms, but as soon as you get a lot of digits in a box, or even 3, surely it begins to get easier. This digit can't be 51267. It's not allowed to be 3 or 4 by the rule, so it's 8 or 9. Now the other one of 8 or 9, remember there's no dots in any of these cells, has to be not in those cells, so it's in one of these corners. So either that's a 9 with an 8 there, or that's an 8 with a 9 there. So this is, no, that could be an 8. 9, 5, 2, 7, 9, 8. So this cell, which can't be 5, 1, 6, 2, 7, 9, or 8, is 3 or 4. Now this, I was going to say now this can't be 3 anymore, but there could be dots between those two. So, you've got to be so careful. You get so used to working with the negative constraint that you forget it doesn't yet apply in cells where the fog hasn't been cleared. One of these is a 5 that could be next to 6 for the reasons I've just said. Okay, maybe I need to do this 4 questioning again. Wherever 4 is here, that can't be 4. Oh, 4 is in one of these two cells. Now, again, I want to say that means this can't be 3. It doesn't. 4 is in one of these two cells, but they could have a dot each. 5, 2, 7. Well, what can this be? 7, 3, 8, 5, 2 are ruled out. 6 and 4 by the rules. So this is 1 or 9. But it can't be 9 because that would be 8 and there'd be a dot. So this is a 1. There we go. Look at that. 3 there. 4 on the dot. Black dot. So this is an 8 because... Ooh. Yes, otherwise that would have a black dot. Yes, that's all good. I think this puzzle might get a lot easier now, and I say that with all due concern that Michael probably is not that style of constructor, but doesn't it have to? Well, it would have to if the fog was gone. He said fatuously. That can't be 3 or 8, though, because it doesn't have a dot in itself, so that's a 7. That's the sort of thing I'm talking about, getting easier. This can't be 8 because there's no dot in it, so it's a 3. Oh, we clear away the whole cell and we've just got that white dot. I was going to say, so this can't be 1, but that's a false conclusion because there could be a white dot hidden here. This can't be 2 or 4, so that's 9. This can't be 4, so that's 2 in the corner. Now, this can't be 6, and this can't be 6 because there's no white dot here. So 6 is placed. This can't be 5 because there's no white dot here. So we've got a 5 in the white dot, which is not consecutive with any of those. So it must be consecutive here with 4 or 6, obviously, which is also on a black dot. Now, can this be 4? It's not so... Well, that would have to be 7 or 9 with no dot. Gosh. 6 can't be there. It's in one of those two cells. Can't be there because of 3. Yeah, okay, this is a bit harder. Once you see, we've done a whole set of 3 columns, and then it's very hard to get out of those into the rest of the puzzle. Now, this white dot, well, the trouble is it could be white dotting that cell. Oh, this is forming a 5 pair. Right, if it's forming a 5 pair in this row, then that's a 1-4 pair. If it's forming a 5 pair in the column, that has to be 2 or 4 by Sudoku, and then that's 1 or 3. So, well, this can't be 2, that's just Sudoku. Okay, I'm not quite seeing what comes next. Let's look at this cell and just pencil mark it. 5276. It's not allowed to be 8. So it's 1, 3, 4, or 9. This is not the way to do the puzzle. Well, I don't know. Keeping going a little in that style. 1, 9, 3, 4, 2, 6 ruled out. Ooh, 5, 7, or 8 there. And this one, I might as well mark the whole column, and then see if I can spot a digit that only appears in one possible cell. That would be quite amusing, but ridiculous. The trouble is, with the dot here, that could be concealing another dot, I don't really have a negative constraint operating in this cell at all. Well, I do, because there's no dot there, but unfortunately. Okay, so it can't be a 2. Actually, yes, the white dot doesn't operate there, because that would need a dot too. So this white dot either operates on that cell, or this cell. It's much more likely to be that cell. Right, okay, what have we got in this column? We've only got 2 locations for 2. Is one of them wrong? Well, 2 here couldn't go with a 4 here. So if that was a 2, this is a 6. I don't know. I don't know how to deal with that. Oh my goodness, I've written 4, 6 on that black dot and then got a 4 there and not noticed the effect of that. It's pathetic, isn't it? Right, where does this 6 get its black dot partner 3? Not here because there's no dot, not here because there's a 3 in the row, so it gets it here. Now, that can't be 6 again, obviously. Well, this can't be 3, this can't be 6. Where else can I take 6 out? In the top 2 cells. 4, 6, 7, 5, 3. This isn't allowed to be 2 because there's no dot here. Okay, we've had 6, 3. So this is 2, 4, or 8. It can't be 1 by Sudoku. It's got a black dot partner from the 1, 2, 4, 8 family that isn't there. So it's here or here. If it was here, it would have to be 4. Ah, yeah, this is making a 1-4 pair now that it can't be 3, either there or there. So one of those pairs is a 1-4 pair, and that we can't have 4 there or 1 there. Now this can't be 8 or 9 because it would need a dot with that one. 9, 3, 1, 6, 8. So it's 2, 4, 5, or 7. It can't be 4 because it would definitely have a black dot with that one. Maybe this is, well, it's a more difficult box to ask where does 4 go in the box. Because we don't know about the blooming dots. That can't be 5 or it would have a dot. If that was a 1-4 pair. Dunno, if that was a 1-4 pair. No, I'm missing something here. What's going on here? If that was an 8, that can't be 7. And that would be 9. So if this was an 8, we'd have a 9 here. We need 4 to be next to the 8. And that would be 1, therefore. 6, 3, 9, 8, 1. That would have to be 2. In fact, one of these is 2 by Sudoku alone. And here we've got digits that include 1 and 2. I don't know what to do with that. Okay, this digit can't be 3, 4, 8, 6. Not allowed to be 2 either. That wasn't as limiting as I'd hoped. Right, 4 now can't be in those cells because of the given 4 that we've achieved. if 4 was there, that's 9, that's 7. If 4 was here, that's 9, that's 7. If 4 was here, that's 7, that's 9, that's 6. It's quite powerful. I mean, it plays... Okay, so let's just mark in the positions for 7 and 9 in this. If 4 is there, that's a 9. So let's first of all say that 4 is in one of those cells. If it's there, that's a 9. If it's here, that's a 9. So that is a 4-9 pair, whatever. Of course it is. No, because 4 could be here. It's not. If 4 is there, that becomes a 7, and that becomes a 9. So 9 has these 3 positions. If 4 is there, this is a 7, because that's the 9. But if 4 is here, with 9 there, then that's a 7. So 7 is now definitely in one of these 2 positions. I mean, that's been hard to work out, but it's genuinely fair and reasonable. And it stops this being a 7. 7 in the column, can it still be here? I suppose it can. That's annoying. Eight. Oh, 8 can't be in those cells because it must be next to either 4 or 9. That's not true. 4 and 9 could be there in those 2 positions. Oh, bother. And 8 could be in these cells if there were dots. Oh, oh dear. If 4-9 were a pair here, that would be a 1-3-8 triple, and that would be 5. Wouldn't be allowed to be next to 6. Ah, I think this is 6, whatever. If 4-9 are a pair there, with the 1-3-8 triple there, that's a 5. There's no white dot, so 6 would go here in the box. Remember that cell. If, alternative to 4-9 being there, 4 is here, then that's 7, that's 9. The only digit 4 can now be next to in the row is 6. So this always ends up being 6. Wow. And it's on a white dot. And all that tells me, well, this can't be 5 or 7. So one of these is 5 or 7. Ooh, there's a 7 definitely there. But that, I don't know. It's such a vague message, actually. There is a 6 in one of those 2 cells. Much good may it do me. What about this white dot? By Sudoku. 5276. The interesting thing about that is it can't be 5 or 7, so it's not white dotting with either of the 6s. It is 1, 3, 4, 8, or 9, which is not thrilling. It can't be 3. No, I can't rule that out because the black dot could be hidden by white dots. It's a very interesting puzzle. It's so weird just working with the negative constraint and not much else, and not quite knowing where it applies a lot of the time. 6. Now, okay, I've marked up this thing, so I'm taking out the red markings because I've got a bit more fog cleared by that 6. These digits are from 1, 2, 3, 5 because we've kind of positioned where 4, 7 and 9 can be in the box. They're not allowed to be a 2-3 pair or a 1-2 pair. So if they had a 2 in, they would have to be 2-5. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. Something very obvious. Are you shouting it at the screen for me? Can't quite hear yet. What am I missing? Now, we know there's a 1-4 pair either there or there. Okay, let's have a look at this cell. If this is 2, that's an 8, and that's 9. If this is 7, that can't be 8, so it's 9 again. If this is 5, then what? Anything? Not really. Okay, maybe I'll look at this. The trouble is, this could be anything. I don't see... No, it can't, of course. The message of a white dot in that cell, but not in any of these, is that it must connect with that one by white dottedness. So this is 5 or 7. And one of these is definitely 5, because they can't be 8, 7 as a pair. So I can take 5 out of that cell. Oh, I've got a 7 in one of those, so this is a 5 in the centre. Oh, goodness gracious. 8 there. It didn't clear any fog. That petrified me for a moment until I realised it's not in a position to clear any fog. Right, this is a 2, 4, 7 triple, and 2 and 4 have to be kept apart because there's no dots here, so they have to be chaperoned by the 7 in the middle. And that was right, and that's clearing fog for me. And there's no white dots in this. Now, 7 is in one of those cells. It can't be there because there's no white dot, so it goes in there. 8, 7, 5, 6. One of these is 2. So there's no 2 here. Yeah, which I could have got from the 2, 4 pair. In fact, this can't be a 3 or a 1, because there would be some sort of dot between those. So that's 5. That's 2 now. That's 4. This isn't 5. 8 is up here. Now, once we put 4 there, it had to be surrounded by 6, 7, 9 there. These are from 1, 3, 8. That is not allowed to be 1 or 3. Oh, there's probably one of these forbidden from being 1 or 3, but I can't see it. That is 1 or 2. That can't be 3 because no black dot. One of these 2 is a 2. Okay, what about this? It's not 2 because there's no dot here. It's not 9 because it is a black dot cell. It must be dotting with this cell because these two have no dots. So this is either a 2 or a 4, but I've got 2 pencil marked in there. So this is 4. I was going to say 4 can't be in the middle of a cell of a box, but it can if there are dots in the box. 4 has to be surrounded in undotted cells by 6, 7, or 9. So this is 6, 9, 3, 1. This is a 2, 5, 8 triple. Very chocolate teapotty, but that's a 9. They're not. This can't be 8. Now, I don't think this can be 1 because that would have a dot. So that's 8. 8, 1, 2, 7, 4, 6, 3, 5, 9 down here. That can't be 9 because of the white dot. So 9 is in the corner. This is a 3, 5 pair. I've got a 1, 3 pair there, so that's resolved. 2, 8, 6. This is now where the 1, 4 pair grey goes. That's a 7. That didn't resolve this. 5, 4, 8, 1, 3, 7. This is a 2, 6, 9 triple. Oh, 1 and 2 here are done. Sorry, I'm sure I have missed some very straightforward observations, but there's a lot to look at in a puzzle like this, and I'm not that embarrassed, I have to admit. As always, delighted if I can get through a puzzle at all, frankly. 7, 3, 4. Right, that's not allowed to be a 7, so that's going to deal with this column. That can't sit next to 6. We're not getting any appearing dots. It's a remarkably dotless grid, actually. That can't be 5 because of no dot. I've only got 3 fog cells left. Now, that's become a 7. 1 fog cell left. 2, 5. I wonder if we can finish on Sudoku. I think we might be able to. 9, 1, 3. So that's become an 8. I'm going to use the... No, I'm not going to use the black dot because I'm a bit scared of what's concealed under other dots. That feature of this grid is really very confusing. 2, 7, 1, 8, 5, 6. We've got a 3, 4, 9 set. So that one's 3, 9, 4. Yes, Sudoku gets me home. 4 and 1. Lovely. 46 people have done this in a day and a half since this version came out. Well, from when I'm doing it anyway, which may not be the day you're seeing it. But wow, that's very clever. Very clever puzzle. Very entertaining. Inner Circles by Michael Lefkowitz. Highly recommend it. I think Michael is a talent to watch out for. Negative constraints can be your friends, but only if you can really appreciate what they're doing, and fog can obscure that. Thanks for watching, as always, on the channel. I'll see you again soon, and bye for now.